Thank you. To all the participants who've joined us in the webinar, a very, very good evening to you all. And yeah, a very warm welcome to today's session. We'll be starting in a couple of minutes as some of you are still joining in, and we are still a couple of minutes away from our scheduled time. So please stay tuned and we'll be on mute for a couple of minutes, but that's okay. That's not a glitch at your systems. We're just waiting for a few more minutes to get started. So yeah, please bear with us for a few more minutes. Thank you. Yeah. Uh, a very good evening to all of you, those who joined in the last couple of minutes. We are waiting for 1 or 2 more minutes and we'll start at 7:02. Yeah, so thank you. Is that the case? Can anyone from the Great Learning team confirm if they can hear me?
Yes, Mohit, can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Great. Thank you so much for the confirmation. And we'll get started. So, first of all, a very good evening to all of you, those who joined us today for this webinar, and a very warm welcome. Thank you so much for making time to join this. And as most of you are aware, the agenda for today's discussion is to introduce one of the newest certificates that IT Bombay has launched. This is the certificate in supply chain analytics with AI and ML applications, and we'll be talking a lot more about the certificate in detail. We'll be understanding the curriculum, case studies, etc. Uh, uh, as a part of this webinar, we'll also be hearing from the faculty who will be teaching who's designed this course and will be delivering the course as a part of the curriculum. So with that, I welcome you all to today's discussion. And without further ado, we will get started. So, as far as the speakers are concerned, we have Professor Priyank Sinha with us. He's an assistant professor with the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research. And he is the main coordinator for certificate in supply chain analytics with AI and ML applications. He's designed the entire curriculum and he will be also be delivering the sessions to you all as the certificate begins. Welcome, Professor Priyank, to the session. Look forward to hearing from you. We
Thank you,
also
Mohit.
have Yes. Uh, we also have Dr. Satadru Chakraborty. Dr. Satadru is a program manager with the educational outreach, with educational outreach at IT Bombay. And educational outreach is the main body which brings all the certificates, all the educational outreach programs, all the online programs to the world beyond IIT Bombay. And we'll be hearing from Dr. Satadru as well. Welcome to the session, Dr. Satadru.
Thanks, Mohit. Looking forward to the session.
Yes. And finally, myself, my name is Mohit. I'm a part of the Great Learning team. And as some of you may be aware, IIT Bombay and Great Learning have come together to bring this certificate to you all. And while IIT Bombay will be taking care of all the academic aspects of the certificate, the Great Learning team will be taking care of all the non-academic aspects of the certificate, which means from reaching out to all of you, explaining you the details about this certificate through through counselors and those who speak to you to give you more detail, and then eventually, if you plan to register, then taking you through the entire journey and supporting you in the entire journey. And we'll talk more about it in the next couple of slides. So with that, I would first like to invite Dr. Satadru to tell us more about educational outreach at IIT Bombay and what type of courses and the focus areas. Over to you, Dr. Satadru.
Thanks, Mohit. Thanks for the introduction again, and a very warm welcome to all the interested potential learners who have joined in the webinar. So yes, as Mohit was mentioning, so I'm from the Educational Outreach Unit at IIT Bombay. So the primary mandate of educational outreach at IIT Bombay is democratizing the access to education. So IIT Bombay is well known for its excellent world-class faculty members who hold knowledge in various cutting-edge domains relevant to today's industry and academia alike. So we facilitate that knowledge, how we can share that knowledge outside of the walls of IIT Bombay. We make it accessible to a broader audience. That is the primary vision of educational outreach, and in that regard, we have various streams of courses and certificates that we are launching. I would also like to mention we are actually a new unit. It's been just 2 to 3 years of us in operation. But we mainly bring certificate courses, for example, the certificate in supply chain analytics, which is our latest offering. We also have some e-postgraduate diplomas. We have open certificate courses, which faculty members from IIT Bombay can float. We also make custom tailor-made programs for corporates and government bodies alike. And we also include SWAYAM courses in our repertoire. These courses can be accessed by working professionals and students, freshers alike, but we do have some eligibility criteria. I would urge the learners to visit our website to gain more information. And speaking about this course in supply chain analytics, I can only say that we are very excited to partner with Great Learning and to offer this course to learners all across the country. So yeah, and Professor Priyank now will speak more about the course in general. So yeah, over to you, Professor Priyank.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. So,
Yes, Professor
can I
Priyank,
begin?
over to
Yeah.
you. Yes, over to you.
Thank you, Satadru. So, good evening, everyone. To all the potential candidates who want to enroll in this course, who have expressed their interest. So, thanks for your interest. So, I'll be first talking about our department and what is the history of our department. So, our department, Industrial Engineering and Operation Research Department, is basically an interdisciplinary department which takes in students from varied background, and we work on various optimization and decision making problems in the industry. Okay, so the department first came into being in 1976, and it was initially launched as the interdisciplinary program. It was not recognized as a department back in 1976. And this next year, we are going to graduate our golden jubilee batch. So, it is another reason for our department to rejoice. So this is briefly the history of the department, where we see that in 1986 to 1996, we had first core faculty member, This, there were some faculty members who were associated with other departments. They were also had the secondary association with the IDP program, that is our department. Uh, our department gained the department status back in 2024, sorry, which is when we started our BTech program. So right now we offer BTech program, MSc, MTech, and then there is a PhD program also. So apart from this, we have two dedicated centers, that is TCAI and the FedEx Center for Logistics and Transportation. So these two centers are solely function from our department itself. And just last year we started our BTech program, and we can say that our department is quite popular, and I think it is second or third department when it comes to the BTech students' preferences in opting. I think so. This has been the history of our department. Currently, we are the group of 15 faculty members, and more faculty members are expected to join. So the faculty members in our department work in the theoretical side of the optimization and also the practical side of the optimization. For example, there are faculty members who work in the AI ML part of it. There are people who work totally in the probability and stochastic optimization. There are faculty members who work in the game theory and some recreational mathematics. And then there are faculty like me and some other faculty members who work on the application side of the things, where you can think of supply chain as one of the core interest application area. And then there are some other application areas also in the service industry and some industries. So that is just a snapshot of what our department has been doing, and just to give you the flavor as to what our offering in this course is going to be, because it will be aligned to the overall objective of our department also. So that's it. Yeah. Okay.
Great.
So over
Thank
to
you.
you, Mohit.
Thank you so much, Professor Priyank, for the overview about the education in about industrial engineering and operations research. Um, Lastly, I would also want to talk about great learning in a bit. So, great learning, as Satadru mentioned, great learning has partnered with educational outreach and the industrial engineering and operations research department to bring this certificate in supply chain analytics with AI and ML applications to all the candidates. Um, and as I said, in terms of engagement with the learners, Great Learning team will be working with you as you uh, uh, register your inquiry for this course. There's a team of learning consultants who will be working with you to explain the details and help you understand if this is a relevant course or certificate for you or not. And then eventually, if you plan to register, then there's a entire team of program managers who will be working with you as you take your classes, as you go through the curriculum and make sure that you complete the course on time. So that is how Great Learning is involved. And to give you a quick overview about Great Learning, so we are about 11 years old. Uh, in the last 11 years, we've been able to reach out to almost 13 million learners across 170 plus countries, and we have delivered about 470 uh, plus million learning hours in the last 11 years of our existence. We offer, of course, about 60 to 70 courses on our platform in partnership with multiple universities. And we have one of the highest course completion rates in the industry, which is above 90%. The fact that we have program managers assigned to each of our cohorts, each of our batches, who work alongside the learners to make sure that they stay on track helps us achieve some of the highest completion rates. And of course, because of that, we also have very high learner ratings, more than 4.6 out of 5. And we also have a huge panel of industry mentors, almost 8,000 industry mentors who work with us and partner with some of the partner with us on some of the programs that we offer. In terms of our academic partnerships, we've worked with some of the world's leading universities like Harvard Medical School, Johns Hopkins, MIT, IIT Bombay, Northwestern, University of Texas at Austin, Duke, Deakin, Chicago Booth, Great Lakes, and as I said, we uh, there's of course multiple offerings that we bring to all the learners, ranging from certificate programs to e-postgraduate diplomas from IIT Bombay to online degrees from some of the best universities across the world. So with that, I will we'll talk more about the course. And just to reiterate in terms of the so to say the responsibility distribution, as I said, IIT Bombay and Professor Priyank, Siddharth, they all take care of the academic aspects of the course, which means right from designing to delivering to case studies, everything comes from IIT Bombay. And while the Great Learning team takes care of the non-academic aspects, which which starts from reaching out to you all, helping you answer queries, helping you with the registration, and then helping you through the course as you proceed. So with that, we'll now jump into talking a bit more about the certificate and get into various aspects of it. So to begin with, I would like to talk about some of the key highlights of this certificate, starting with, of course, the fact that this has been designed and delivered by IIT Bombay faculty, and in this case, this is Professor Priyank Sinha, and we'll be hearing from him in a bit at length, of course. So this course has been designed entirely by him, and he will be delivering the sessions. Most of the sessions for this certificate will happen over the weekend. Uh, Primarily, this will be delivered through live sessions, and the sessions will likely, like on an average, learners are expected to put in 2 to 3 hours. On an average, these live sessions will be 2 to 3 hours on every week throughout the course. And of course, in some weeks it could be smaller than that. It can weeks it can be a bit longer than that duration, depending upon the topic that is being covered. But on an average, 2 to 3 hours per week is what learners can expect. The curriculum has been designed taking into account some of the latest requirements of the industry, and accordingly the case studies have also been designed. And given this is a this is an area which interests both engineers as well as the business professionals, the teaching methodology is more aligned with the case-based teaching methodology, where Professor Priyank will take you through different cases, different scenario as we cover different aspects of the program, and we talk about supply chain analytics and also the AI and ML applications in some of those use cases. As we discussed, this will be delivered through weekly live sessions, and where which will be used both for learning delivery as well as the query resolution and doubt resolution. Uh, Along with supply chain analytics, of course, the idea is to embed AI topics and techniques throughout the curriculum, because that is the need of the hour. And given this artificial intelligence uh, has impacted all the areas across all the industries, it is imperative that we learn about what this technology is and how it specifically comes into play when we talk about supply chain. And some of those aspects will be covered in this course. Uh, this is 100% online delivered course, which means that the online curriculum is designed for working professionals, keeping them into mind. And the classes, as I said, will happen over the weekend. So people who've been working in the industry and who have, who might not have a lot of time to spend over the weekdays, can plan the learning delivery over the weekends, and of course, take this certificate along with their work commitments. While you, of course, learn from the faculty and on different aspects, this course will also allow you peer-to-peer learning opportunities and networking opportunities as you interact with your peers during the live classes, and also work on some of the projects that will be a part of the curriculum. And Professor Priyank will probably talk more about it. But yeah, this certificate also offers a lot of opportunities to work and network with like-minded peers from a similar industry, working on similar applications, and kind of help you build your network through the same. And of course, towards the end, as we mentioned, you'll all be a dedicated program manager will be assigned to all of you. So as we start the cohort, which is expected to start in October, a dedicated program manager will be assigned to all of you, who will be working with you all throughout the course to help you complete it on time. And typically, their job is to make sure that you stay on track if you're not able to attend the session, to help you through some of that, to help you connect with the faculty, to resolve academic queries, and so on. This person's, as we said, that a program manager is supposed to help you complete the course on time and supposed to guide you as you move across the learning journey. So you will have that support to help you reach the finish line on time. So those are some of the key aspects of the certificate. And with that, now I will hand it over to Professor Priyank to help us understand who is this certificate for, and what about the curriculum, and some of the concepts that will be covered in the certificate. So Professor Priyank, over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing is that the objective for designing the course, because so I've been teaching this course for some time in IIT Bombay and in my earlier organization also, IIT Guwahati. So what I found was that the placements in these institutes, there are many supply chain firms which are coming for the placements, and they are recruiting for the roles which are closely tied to some of the functionalities of the supply chain. So the idea is that what they are looking for is some scientific approach to the decision making, because what happens is that they have the supply chain professionals, but most of these professionals are used to working based on their intuition and based on their experience. Now, what has happened in recent past is that we are currently sitting on the trove of the data. Data is available everywhere. So the idea is that even the industry thinks that how we can utilize that data to make some of these decisions more better and more scientific in nature. So the way the supply chain courses are now being designed and are now being delivered across the some of the top ranking universities is also keeping this aspect in mind. So we have designed this particular course keeping this aspect in mind. And the idea is that once the participant goes through this course, the person should be more able to should get more acquainted with the some scientific tools which can be directly used by the participants in the industry for better decision making. So we want to equip the participants with those, scientific quantitative tools, something which is beyond what you can expect. So, I mean, there are many aspects of the supply chain where you cannot only work around with the data, where the intuition and where the experience would matter. For example, the strategic decision making. But the other aspects of the supply chain where the decisions are made are best made by utilizing the data and the scientific decision making. So for those aspects, we want to equip the participants with those tools. So just to improve the employability and to see how the how the entire industry is capable of getting more and more efficient as a result of that. Right. So we have prepared this particular PPT which is self-explanatory. It says that supply chain and operations professionals. So already certain professionals who are working in the supply chain domain, and they want to be equipped with better decision-making tools as to how they can, enhance their decision-making abilities in their day-to-day operations. So the course is very much suited for them also. Data and business intelligence professionals who are working or looking to work in logistics, procurement, inventory, or operations roles, who want to, sorry, who want to apply advanced analytics and machine learning in supply chain. What this course will not extensively cover, although it is very much the part of the supply chain domain, is the revenue management and the warehouse management. Okay, so we are not going to talk extensively about that because as we can understand, the supply chain as a field is quite broad, and it is not possible for us to cover every aspect of it. So we will be emphasizing on logistics, procurement, inventory, and some of the operational roles. If you want those roles in the industry, this course is for you. Supply chain consultant and a strategy professional. Since the course will cover the breadth of the supply chain decision making and how these decisions are intertwined with each other. So you should be also able to, get a more holistic picture of how the decisions in one particular aspect of the supply chain is taken and how it has a cascading effect on the other aspects. So the people who want to work as supply chain consultants or the strategy professionals can also benefit from this course. Emerging leaders also in manufacturing, retail, e-commerce. So when we talk about emerging leaders, we talk about what are the strategic aspects, strategic decision aspects that they would like to take when they want to start venture or something like that, or they want to go in or with the expansion within their own organization. So leaders working in these particular domains can also get benefited from this particular course. So I think we have covered most of it for who all can, get benefited from it. If you have any specific questions, we will take those questions towards the end of the webinar. Mohit, if you can change to the next slide. Yeah. So this is the broad curriculum, and although, I mean, we have listed out important topics here, now the subtopics have not been listed over here. So any supply chain course would typically cover at least three broad domains. The first domain would be strategic decision making. The second domain would be the tactical decision making, and the third domain would be the operational decision making. Right. So all of these three aspects have been covered in some way or the other within this curriculum. So in the module one, we will start with the data-driven and the supply chain analytics. Not like the scientific decision making is new to the supply chain, but more of the data-driven models have started, getting more popularized in the supply chain domain. In the first module, we will talk about what is the objective of the supply chains, why do they exist, and how we can use different decision-making models to achieve those objectives. And then we are also going to talk about some data analytics model and their application in the supply chain, just to give you a broad overview of how different data analytics model are becoming more and more popular for the decision making in supply chain. In the second module, we are going to talk about the network design and the optimization. So this is the strategic decision making part of the supply chain, where we talk about how where the different facilities and the warehouses and all the warehouses or the manufacturing plants will be located. What will be the capacity of these facilities, in what market they are going to operate. At the same time, what kind of products or what group of products are going to be delivered and those things, right? So we are going to look at the supplier selection model. There are some multi-criteria decision-making models which we are going to study for the supplier selection. Then we are going to study about the deterministic network design models. Here, the idea is that how to locate different facilities within the supply chain so that the overall cost of transportation can be minimized within the supply chain, because the basic idea behind the supply chain is to improve the efficiency as much as possible. And by improving the efficiency, we typically mean reduction in the cost. In some cases, so in the deterministic models, we assume the problem parameters to be known with certainty. In the stochastic and the robust optimization domain, we assume that these parameters are not known with certainty. In the stochastic, we will consider that the parameters follow some probability distributions. And in the robust optimization domain, we assume that each of the different scenarios have the equal likelihood of presenting itself. So those type of modeling approaches will also be discussed. We will also discuss the MILP formulations and how Python can be used in order to solve these kind of problems. Okay. And so the third module that we are going to talk about is the data-driven inventory models. We are going to start with the basic inventory models, that is the EOQ models and the dynamic demand models with the lead time. We are going to extend it to the multi-echelon inventory problems, where you are not talking about the inventory at a particular node. Instead, you are talking about the inventory problems, which is distributed across the supply chain. And then based on that, we are going to extend these models further, that if some data is given to us, then can we have a ML based enhancement to the news vendor problems, and ANN driven inventory optimization, how ANN could be used to drive the inventory optimization problem. Those things will be discussed primarily in this module. So can we change the slide for us? Yeah, okay. So demand forecasting and planning. So ideally, this fourth module should come before. Sorry. Ideally, this fourth module should come before the inventory planning, because first we do the demand forecasting, and based on whatever forecast or demand that is available to us, we start to do the inventory planning. But whatever, I mean, we can talk about it later. But in the demand forecasting and planning, this is the aspect of the supply chain where the machine learning is most extensively used. So we have time series forecasting models. We have machine learning forecasting, that is tree-based, SVM, neural networks, Bayes diffusion, discrete choice models, and Gen AI application for the scenario-based forecasting. Okay, so these are some of the topics that we'll discuss in this module. And then lastly, we are going to discuss about the transportation and the risk analysis. This particular module caters to the operational part of the supply chain decision making, which says that once the strategic and the tactical decisions have already been taken. So in other words, once the supply chain design supply chain is already there into existence, and the inventory policies and the revenue sharing policies have already been designed. Now, how the demand could be met if those things are already given to us. So we are going to talk about the transportation and the risk analysis in this module, where we are going to discuss the vehicle routing problem, and how the transportation data is obtained, and how can we actually rank the different transportation activities, how to build those dashboards, and what is the disruption risk modeling. Okay, and what is the impact of the commodity price and other things on the on the overall efficiency of the transportation in the supply. So that's it. This is the broad overview of the curriculum. And if you have any specific questions related to this, so I think there is some other slides left. Mohit, you want to cover them, and then we can probably take questions.
Yeah, yeah. So before that, I think this is one more slide that I think Prasupya, if you can cover, that would be great in terms of some of the case studies that we plan to cover uh, during the course.
Yes. So the idea here in the course is that we are going to have theoretical sessions in first week. So for example, every alternate week, we are going to have some theoretical sessions, which will be followed by a case study in the following week, just to explain how the how the theoretical concepts that we had studied in the earlier week would be applied to a real real scenario. So for that, I'll be developing some of the detailed case study of the supply chain, of, starting from the design to the distribution, starting from the design to the inventory to the distribution. All of the phases will be covered in that. So based on what we had covered in the previous week, we are going to take one particular decision aspect of it. I also want to, I have also some repository of some case studies which are available over the internet. So on some of the journals have published these case studies. So it will be the combination of both these. Some of the case studies will be entirely my own. Some of these case studies will be taken by the ones published in the journal. So after every module, not after every module, after every theoretical session, we plan to have a case study or an exercise or some, Python-based implementation code, something, some practical application of the theoretical concept. That's it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Priyank. I think there are a couple of questions, but let's, as you said, we have just a few slides left, so we'll complete those and then come back to Q&A. So thank you so much for explaining the curriculum and the case studies. I'll quickly now talk about the eligibility criteria. So the eligibility criteria for this certificate is the minimum criteria is that the candidate should have a bachelor's degree in any discipline from a recognized university with a minimum aggregate of 50% marks or an equivalent CGPA. That's the minimum eligibility criteria. That said, if you have beyond this, if you have, let's say, a basic familiarity with elementary statistics and spreadsheet tools like Excel and other similar tools, and some exposure to programming languages such as Python or R, that can be advantageous. And secondly, if you have professional experience in supply chain operations, logistics, procurement, inventory management, analytics, or related functional areas, again, this can be advantageous. That said, it is not mandatory. So, of course, for those who come with a similar background, it will be easier for you to pick up on the concepts or to pick up on building some of the models as we move from the theoretical concepts into the hands-on every alternate week. And for those of you who don't have any exposure to some of these, you might need some more time and some more effort to learn some of these things. That said, of course, there will be support to help you in the learning process. But as comes with any industry specific certificate, having a basic understanding of some of the concepts definitely helps with an easy ramp up as we proceed with the curriculum. In terms of the application process, it's a simple three-step process where all the interested candidates can apply by filling out a simple online application form. This should be present on the Great Learning website. I would request the Great Learning team to post a link to the program webpage, to the webpage for this certificate. So for those of you who are interested, you can reach out to that page, drop in your details, and connect with the Great Learning representative to help you understand a bit more about the certificate. And then if you still are interested, you can fill out the simple online application form with a few more details about you, about your work experience, why do you want to pursue this course, etc. Once you fill the application form, you will have to go through a mandatory screening call with the registration office, where the idea is for us to understand your motivation for pursuing this course, and how do you think this can be relevant to you. And once you cross that, the selected candidates will receive an offer letter to join the certificate course, and you must pay the registration fee to confirm your seat and complete the registration. The classes will begin in October, and as we said, the plan is that every weekend there will be live sessions with Professor Priyank, and depending upon the topic and the task at hand, at some times it will be a smaller duration session, at some point it will be a slightly longer session. On an average, you can expect 2 to 3 hours of sessions every week. It's a 6-month program, which means this will start sometime in October and this will go on till about March, around end of March, beginning of April. So that's the overall plan. In terms of the certificate and the outcomes to expect, so you will get a certificate of completion from the Educational Outreach Office of Educational Outreach at IIT Bombay. A sample copy is on the screen, and this certificate, of course, will have a unique QR code that is verifiable on the IIT Bombay website. So for those of you who earn the certificate of completion, you can also upload it, and then of course verify and verify it using the unique QR code. So with that, we come to the end of the session, and now we would take questions. I think there are already a couple of questions in the chat, so we will begin with that. First of all, yeah, a couple of questions on. I think these are related questions, so I'll take them together. This is from Manju Prasad. That will modeling be covered as a part of the curriculum, and do folks require to know statistics, graph theory, mathematics? Professor Priyank, over to you for this one.
Okay. So yes, modeling will be very much the part of the course. Uh, don't need to know much of the statistics graph theory because the idea is that I will be starting from a very basic, and if you are quite attentive during the session, I will cover all the different aspects. And whatever concept is relevant to that particular session, I will cover that in advance. So you don't need to come up with some preparation beforehand. The idea is that even if you have a background in the supply chain, I will still want to cover from the very basics because sometimes it might happen that your understanding of the entire supply chain would be quite different from mine. So just that if all of us are on the same page so from the beginning, so it becomes easy for everybody to go through the course in a similar fashion. So I think that will be very much required, but I don't expect you to come with some preparation.
Great, thanks, Professor Priyank. Uh, the next question we have is from Pranab Das. So the question is on around cold chain medicine transportation, and he's interested to do a project on air transportation of life-saving drugs to remote corners of the world. And of course, has a background in Excel, Tableau, Power BI, SQL, and wants to understand if something like this or a related area or concepts will be covered in this space as a part of the curriculum.
So, when we talk about the problem at hand, you are talking about is basically the problem related to the air transport logistics. So even in the supply chain, towards the end, the last module is dedicated to basically the vehicle routing problems and how the routings are to be optimized. There could be some concepts which might be useful for this kind of a problem, but this problem will something specific to this problem will not be covered in this course. Although there could be certain, you can think about certain motivations which you can have from the BRP and the other logistics and transportation design problems that you can extend to these kind of situations, but there will not be anything very specific to.
Yeah, and uh, uh, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the understanding and overall idea, if I'm not wrong, is mostly to help candidates one learn the concepts and apply them to certain examples. And the main idea is to transfer that knowledge and the like the thinking framework of how you go about using some of these techniques, how you go about using the data, and so that they can apply it to various use cases, right? And then use cases can differ from, let's say, air transportation of critical drugs to transportation of relief material to, let's say, flood affected areas. So the use cases can be plenty, but the idea is to help the candidates build a solid framework, a thinking framework through which they can apply some of these concepts to multiple and different problems at hand. Of course, we'll discuss some of the problems as a part of the course, but it may entirely not be possible to talk about all the applications. Praspriyan, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, you are absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. A couple of questions on the course fee. So for that, I would urge you all to connect with the Great Learning team. To give you a broad idea, the course is I think the fee is 1,50,000 plus GST, and for the first cohort, there is a special discount of 15,000. So for the first cohort, the course fee is 1,35,000 plus GST. Um, can folks enroll as a fresher? So if you have completed your degree, yes, you can. But if you are still in your final year of your undergraduate degree, then you are not eligible as per the eligibility criteria. Uh, that said, if you are a fresher, again, if this is something that interests you, this can be relevant to you. And of course, feel free to connect with the great learning team to help you understand how this can be applicable. Because for someone coming with a bachelor degree, I think there are multiple areas that you might be looking at. So it's best to identify the right fit before you go ahead with the program. Um, There's a question from Manish Sharma on what tools slash techniques will be used for forecasting. Professor Priyank, over to you for this one.
I think we have listed that in the module itself. You can just open the curriculum. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. So you can see here there are some some method that are listed over here. So we have time series forecasting, and we have some machine learning forecasting methods, that is tree-based method, support vector machines, neural networks. Then there could be situations where we are talking about different attributes of the products. So there we are going to use the Bass diffusion and the discrete choice models also, probit model and the logic model. So these are some of the tools that we'll be using. And yeah.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Professor Priyank. The next one is also which Gen AI tool will be used as a part of some of the modules.
So what the planning is right now is that what we are trying to do here is that we don't expect the participants to be well versed in Python or coding. So what has been happening right now is that if you are fairly good with the concepts, then you can give certain prompts to the generative AI tools and generate certain codes which can be directly implemented on the Python. So the idea here is just to make you equipped with those concepts so that you can use the Gen AI to develop certain codes which can be used to solve a particular problem. We'll also discuss about the implementation part of the code. That is why we say that we are not going to focus too much on the programming aspect, because this is not a course where the programming is going to be taught. So I plan on using ChatGPT because that is the only thing which I've used so far here and there. I have not used anything beyond that. So that's the overall thing.
And I think there's a question on whether it will be Excel based or any other application. My understanding is that most of the implementations would be Excel based, and in terms of programming languages, it's Python and R. Professor Priyank, please correct me if I'm missing anything.
Is not related to the techniques, whether it would be an Excel based or any application would be used. So, depending, so what I mean, the first part of the course objective would be to teach you the basic ideas and the basic concepts associated with the models also. So we'll be building models, we will be seeing how the models are being built, some smaller models. And then what we can do is we can use the Python to see how the larger models will be executed on the Python environment. We won't be using Excel, I think. We can use for one or two solver based, some smaller exercise could be done in the Excel also, if that is the idea.
Yeah. And there's a question from Basavaraj on if they need license. So, as far as my understanding is concerned, and this is for all the participants, uh, you'll not need to pay over and above the fee or procure any paid licenses for this. We should be able to work with either freely available tools or the student version licenses as far as this course is concerned. Professor Priyank, please feel free to add anything if I missed.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. And in terms of the class timings, right now the plan is to conduct the classes on Sunday. The exact timing will be made available to you. Of course, sorry, come again. President, were you saying anything?
No, I was not saying.
Yeah. So right now the plan is to have it on Sunday. We will prefer to keep it uh, in the first half. Of course, if there's any exception, we'll probably move it to second half. But yeah, right now the plan is to keep it on Sunday first half for most part of the course. Uh, there's a question from Saurabh. He says that he's from a mechanical engineering background and currently working in the procurement domain for construction industry. And
Okay.
how can AI be beneficial to him? Interesting one. Prasad, over to you.
So, if you are working on the procurement side of the construction industry, I think you must be dealing in with a lot of auctions and some. So you'll be using some models related to the auctions and the game theory. Usually what happens is that when we solve these kind of models, we get one snapshot solution to it. How AI could be used is that there are certain extensions currently being experimented, that how the behavior of the different agents is evolved if we consider the past history, and how the future relationships are going to evolve based on that. So the basic auction and the basic game theoretical models, which are usually used in the procurement domain, are now being extended by using the some of the AI and the ML based methods.
Great. Thank you. Next one, I think we have from Sonal. Another interesting one. How can they benefit from this course if this is someone who's working in uh, who's someone who's managing a tour operator or working in a destination management company. So if we are talking about that domain, how can this course be beneficial? Again, Prasad, over to you.
The last part of the course will be directly beneficial to you, where we'll talk about the vehicle routing problem. So the basic vehicle routing problem is that how the vehicles are to be assigned to the different destination source and the destination pairs, so that the overall cost is minimized. So I think the tour operators in some form would always use the vehicle routing problem, solution to the vehicle routing problem, even if they don't realize it. So I think it would be useful for you.
Yeah, and not just that, I think even something like demand forecasting and planning could be an important
Yeah,
module
yeah,
for
yeah,
them. Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Yes, the recording of this session is available. I think there's a question if the recording will be available. I think they should be available on LinkedIn on the Great Learning handle in some time. I think there's one more question on does this course also help build AI agents to solve supply chain industry works? Prasad, over to you.
No, we are not building some. Uh, no, we are not going to do that. Because this course is basically the breadth-wise course where we are going to cover some theoretical aspect. We are not going to concern ourselves into building the agents primarily, because then that would dedicate most of the effort in the course. So we are not going to do that.
Okay. There's a question from Mahendra. So, Mahendra, this course mostly focuses on the upskilling and the learning part. So, there's no placement or career support available after the completion of this course. I hope that answers your question. Um,
Sorry, I actually there was some network lag. So can you repeat, Mohit?
There's a question on placement and career assistance as a part of the course. So I just mentioned that is not something that we are offering. This is
Okay, yeah.
mostly from the point of view of learning and upskilling.
Oh,
Um, Siraj, as I said, the recording of the course will be available. And your other question is if the course is helpful in investment or finance student. I think partially, maybe if you are looking at investment in the supply chain related areas, but given this is a course which focuses on supply chain analytics with AI and ML applications, unless you are looking at supply chain as an industry where you would like to evaluate certain things or make your financial models of maybe an asset in the supply chain slash logistics industry, this may not be relevant for finance or investment students. There's also a question on are we going to learn advanced Excel, SQL, and Python? So as we discussed, I think there's some of the models will be built on Excel, and then eventually we'll move to Python as well. Now, will there be specially sessions to help you learn Excel and Python? I think the answer is no, and Prasad, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because the idea is to help you understand the concept behind it, help you build a mental framework, and then put the implementation on Excel and Python. So while yes, Excel and Python will be used, uh, but there there will be limited hand holding, so to say, for some of these. Prasad, please chime in if I missed anything.
yes, yes, you are right.
Great. Um, Interesting. So there's a question from Prajwal. He's a mechanical engineering in the PPC department for the past 2 years, and he wants to switch into a supply chain analyst role, and he wants to know if this course can be helpful.
Yes, this course can be definitely helpful for you because we are going to study broadly all the aspects of the supply chain, all the different, functional aspects of the supply chain. So it might be easy for you to switch to your area of interest within the broad domain of the supply chain.
Okay, I think that pretty much um, answers all of the questions that
Yeah,
we
Mohit,
have.
just cutting in. So I see a couple of questions relating to certificates, and someone from Great Learning has already responded. But maybe you can also say like the completion certificate will only be awarded if the learner is successful in all the
Yes,
evaluations which Professor Priyank will include in the course. So
yes, yes.
that is
Thanks.
something I wanted to mention to all the learners. So you are not going to get a completion certificate just for attending all the course sessions. So there are some evaluation criteria, and you have to excel in them to get the completion certificate from IIT Bombay.
Sure. Thanks, Satadru, for mentioning that. And yeah, in terms of the type of evaluation, I think it'll be a mix of quizzes and some projects at the end of the course. Prasad can share more details around it, but as Dr. Sadhu mentioned, uh, this is not going to be just a certificate of completion based on attending the sessions. We want active participation, which means you'll have to clear the evaluation criteria based on the certain cutoffs set by the faculty. So, Professor Priyank, over to you to shed some light on the evaluation aspect.
So we plan to have a quiz towards the end of every module, or we can have more than one quizzes in a particular module, and towards the end of the entire course, we plan to have some presentation. I would give you some research paper to read, and understand based on your interest in some aspect of the supply chain, and then we can have a discussion based on that. So that will be beyond the teaching hours of the course that is already stipulated in the brochure. So these two assessment components will decide that whether the scores in these two assessment components are going to decide that whether the certificate will be issued or not. So I think there are some more questions coming in.
Uh, there's a question from Mahendra that do they have can they have projects related to the domain or some real world problems? Or I think what he wants to understand is that one, are the case studies based on some of the real world example, and second, can they potentially pick up projects based on their existing roles or maybe a problem of their choice? So to answer first, mind yes, the case studies that we'll be discussing are the relevant problems from the industry, and which is where we'll, once the concept is covered, we'll follow it up with a case study which discusses a real problem in the industry. Let's say supply chain for an e-commerce vendor, or using AI and ML for various logistical operations and so on. So all the case studies will tackle the real world scenarios. And in terms of project, I think Professor Priyank, maybe you can answer that if folks can take up the end course project based on a problem of their choice or something from their own domain.
Definitely, definitely. You can do that. We can include that provision also. And since the idea is that we want to, this is the basic foundational course, so we don't expect all the participants to be so prompt that they will be able to undertake a project of their choice. So those participants who cannot take will be given certain, certain research paper to read and present on their own. But if definitely you can, if you want to take up any project and then work on it, and then do it. So it is obviously that's a good thing. You can have that provision.
Great, thank you. There's an interesting question from Manju Prasad is, can someone, like, will they be able to write a research paper or take some research at the end of this course, because he's working on inventory models? So what's the scope of that? Professor Priyank, over to you to take this one.
So the idea is not for you to write a research paper. The first thing is that if you have a good experience, good background in the inventory models, and if you have been working uh, on the inventory models for some time, you should be able to write a research paper on your own. But one foundational course will not give you enough weight to write actually a research paper. So the idea is that if there is a very specific research-based course, so ideally if you take that particular course, then it might help you to start writing research papers. Definitely, it will help you in writing a research paper, because then you will know that what are the different areas that you must explore in order to get something novel out of it. But directly, it is not going to be very helpful in writing a research paper.
Okay, I think he's currently writing a research paper, but finding it difficult. So maybe
Yeah. So if
understanding
it,
some of the concepts can
yeah,
help.
definitely,
That,
definitely. That, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, I think we are over time, but maybe we'll take one more question, and this is from Raj. Interesting one. So, how much of supply chain and logistics will be covered before starting with ML? So, I think Raj, and broadly, this is for everyone, as Professor Priyank also mentioned. While it is beneficial for the candidates to have some exposure to supply chain as an industry, we don't take that as a given, and we will definitely begin with a basic understanding of supply chain, and then build on top of it, and then AIML will eventually become a part of that understanding. So we'll not start with AI and ML applications right away. We'll start off with building fundamentals of supply chain, of modeling, and then once we set that foundation, then we'll talk about how AI and ML can be implemented on top of that understanding.
Yes. Yeah. Oh,
Lastly, we'll take one last question. And this thing currently, Prasanna, he's currently an AVP for supply chain and procurement with 25 plus years of experience, and how this can help someone like him. So, uh, again, Professor Priyank, would you like to take that one? How can this course be helpful to a fairly senior professional with 25 plus years of experience?
So definitely, if you have 25 years of experience, you have much of the functional knowledge of how the things are, carried out in a real world domain. But any course, if you go through if let us say you only have the experience and you haven't taken a particular course, so your thinking might not be very structured. So the idea is that if we go through a course, we have a very structured thinking about structured approach towards the problem solving as to what is the particular hierarchy, what things are taken first, and how it has a cascading effect on the other decision problem. So that is the only thing. It is only going to the things that you would be knowing already, how they can be built into a particular structure. That structure will be provided by this course, I think. Yeah.
Great, great. Thank you so much, Professor Priyank. And with that, we will finish today's webinar. I think we've gone a few minutes over the stipulated time. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. We hope this was helpful and help you understand if more about one, the certificate, and second, if it is something that suits your requirement, and if this is something that you'd like to pursue. And for further details, of course, please reach out to the Great Learning team. The link is present on the screen. So if you have any further questions, you can visit this web page, drop in your details, and someone from Great Learning will definitely get in touch with you and answer your queries. And with that, we'd like to close the session. Thank you so much, Professor Priyank and Dr. Sadagru, for joining in and helping the candidates with their queries and patiently answering all of those. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, that's it. We'll close it. Have a fantastic evening. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye.